All right, guys, we are starting the new chapter today. I'm hoping to have your tests finished graded tonight. I was hoping to have them back for you today, but sorry, that didn't happen. Sorry. They're almost done. They're almost done. So I will try to get those finished tonight so you can have them back tomorrow. But this next chapter is all about consumer credit. So like credit cards. Yep, credit cards, loans, financing things. So that's this whole next chapter. So for today, we're looking at computing finance charges for installment purchases. Okay, so that's today's goal. Today, I don't think should be that bad of a lesson though for you. So talking about credit, do any of you actually have a credit card? Not debit that pulls from your checking, but a credit card. You think you do? Is that what you just said? Okay, yeah, no, between debit card and credit card, there's always a question on which one, what does it mean? Because it always comes up, do you want, is this debit or credit, right, if you swipe your card? A debit card pulls the money out of your checking account. So that's taking from money that you actually have in the bank. A credit card is you borrowing money from a lender. So if you swipe my credit card, that's not money I currently have. I'm going to get a bill at the end of the month that says, here's your bill for the month, you need to pay this. Okay? But your debit card pulls from your checking account. Does that make sense? Are you with me? Don't fall asleep. All right, so what are the advantages to actually having a credit card? First advantage is you don't have to carry large amounts of cash. You can always put things on a credit card. So that's a nice advantage. And you don't have to wait until you can pay in full before you purchase something. Right? So if you want to buy that brand new TV, right, you don't have to have all the money saved for it before you go and buy it. You can just put on a credit card and then you can pay it off later. Is it a good idea to do that a lot? No. Too often people live beyond their means. If you've heard that saying, people living beyond their means. It's because they're purchasing things on credit cards and then they get to the point where they can't actually pay their credit cards every month. Then they file for bankruptcy and it's a whole other big old conversation. Okay. So those would be the advantages. You don't have to carry large amounts of cash, but anymore people usually use a debit card anyway. But and you don't have to wait until you can pay in full before you purchase something. So let's talk disadvantages. What do you guys think? What's a disadvantage to credit cards? Hunter? Interest rates. Are interest rates on a credit card high or low? They're typically really high. Yeah, they are. So we talked about earning interest on a savings account, right? We want high interest rates there because it earns us more money. But if you have a high interest rate on a credit card, that's more money you have to pay back every month. So yeah, paying interest was the very first thing. See, two bubbles wasn't bad. I just wrote really big. All right, yeah, so you have to pay the interest, and they're typically very high. And you have a tendency to overspend. You're like, ooh, yeah, I could put that on my credit card. Swipe that credit card, you buy anything you want, and then the bill comes at the end of the month, and that's when you have your heart attack. All right. So a little bit of vocab here for you guys. This chapter has quite a bit of vocab, so try to keep up, all right? So when you purchase something without paying for it immediately, that is credit, right? You asked that question about what's the difference between credit and debit. It is in blue in the bottom. All right, so if you're purchasing something without paying for it, you're swiping that credit card, and the company is paying for it, and then you are paying back your credit card company. That's what's happening. People who use credit, do you know what they're called? Poor people. People who make poor decisions. No, they're called debtors. Why are they debtors? What's the first four letters spell? Debt. You're in debt. In debt means you owe money to somebody. Not a good place to be in. But then organizations or people that extend the credit, so like MasterCard, Visa, right? All of those companies that extend the credit, not Allstate, that's insurance, that they're called creditors. People have a tendency to flip-flop debtors and creditors. Just keep in mind, people who use the credit, you'd think, oh, creditors, because they're using credit. No, no, no. If you use credit, you are in debt. People who extend the credit are giving you the credit cards, right? They're the creditors. All right, creditors need to be sure that they'll be paid back before they extend credit. They will have you fill out an application so they can check your financial history, and then you may or may not be approved. So a lot of times, even if you go to like Kohl's or something, a place like that, they'll ask you, do you want to put this on your Kohl's charge card? You guys ever been asked that before, your parents? Just because there's a credit card that you can have for there. If you want a Kohl's credit card, they have you fill out an application, and then they run your credit to see what kind of person you are. All right, so the history that they run includes 3 basic items. So the first thing is everything you own, your home, your car, your bank accounts, and other personal possessions. And we know what that's called? Starts with an A. They're your assets. Yep, your assets. Okay, so when they run your history, that comes up in your credit report to look at all of that. They look at, do you own a home? Do you own a car? Are you paying for a car? Which you just bought one, right? So like, to use Abby as an example, Abby just bought a car. So she's making car payments now, and she just paid her first one, right? And you had a heart attack? Yeah. She's sad. She has to buy McDonald's coffee now, not Starbucks. See, she's being a wise person, though, right? You're like, all right, I got to shift the money fund somewhere, right? So she's got McDonald's instead. All right, your ability to earn money now and in the future. Creditors want to make sure you have enough income to repay the debt. This is called your earning power. If you're working at McDonald's and you want to get a credit card with a credit line of $20,000, are they probably going to give it to you? Probably not. Okay? They're going to want to look and see where do they work? How much money do they make? Will they be able to afford to pay this off or not? And then your credit report card. Every time you use credit, the creditor reports how well you met your financial obligations to a credit reporting agency, and that is your credit rating. I'm sure you guys have heard that term before, right? People's credit rating? Mm-hmm. 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 Yes, you should. Yep. Guys, if you heard Abby, she just asked a great question. Her grandma suggested to her getting a credit card and just using it for gas, right? Just a couple purchases a month, right? Just putting gas in your car and then pay it off every month. She asked, should she do that? What do you guys think? Yeah, why? But I mean, she still would have to pay it off every month. Right, but why should you use it for that? She could easily use her debit card. What? It builds your credit. Yeah, guys, right now, you don't have a credit score because you've never purchased something and paid it off. So for you guys, you have nothing. You're starting from blank. So if you can get a credit card and just use it responsibly like that and just purchase gas or whatever and pay it off every time your credit card comes, that would be a great way to start earning credit. It builds your credit score. Now, if you get that and you start purchasing your gas and a few other things, and then the bill comes and then suddenly you can't pay it off every month and you're making payments on it, you're still earning credit as long as you make those payments. But as long as you get in a spot like where you can't pay it, say you didn't work that many hours, you get your credit card bill, you're like, I can't pay this month, then your credit score starts to tank. Okay, but as long as you are paying it every month, that's when you're doing good. Okay, that's going to build your credit. I'm only having you fill in a couple. I'm not making you write it all. Stop whining. All right, consumers are given credit scores based on 3 criteria. The most popular score is the what? Do you guys know? Any credit scores, what they're called? It's your FICO score. FICO score. Nathan, did you have something you wanted to add to the last conversation? Yeah. Yep. The scores range from blank to blank. Don't ask me where these numbers come from. Anybody know what like a good credit score is? 720 should just like you right away. They couldn't run your credit because you don't have any when you bought the car. So they run your grandma's credit? Yeah, they're going to range from 300 to 850. Okay, so that's your range where they fall. Again, where do these numbers come from? I don't know. Why they're not 0 to 100, which everyone understands, is beyond me. All right, They summarize the probability that debtors will repay their debts. So obviously, if you have a really high score, that means that you are somebody who always pays back your debts on time and you're making your payments and you're a good debtor. Okay? If you have a low score, that means that you get a bill every month and you're like, yeah, I ain't paying that. Or you don't even pay the minimum. Okay? So it's showing people that you're not good at repaying. All right. A higher score indicates a better credit rating. So just keep that in mind. Some people might think it's backwards, but the higher the score, the better you are at repaying your debt. That's what you want. FICO scores higher than 700, so like she said 720, signify a good credit rating. 770 and above are considered excellent. Oh yeah, the credit card one. I think you're right. They advertise for around 720, right? Is that a good one? Yep. And this is what people look at before you would buy a car, before you get a mortgage, before you get a credit card, anything like that. They're going to look at this and they're going to pull your credit report. The higher your score, they're like, okay, they're going to be good at paying things back. We'll go ahead and extend the credit to them. Thank you. So any person with a credit score below 600 is considered a significant risk. Now look at that. They range from 300 to 850, but if you're below 6, you're like a red flag. Okay? Individuals with scores at 700 or greater qualify for the best interest rates. So even if they give you the credit because you have a really low score, they're like, all right, we'll take a chance on you. You might get a lot higher interest rate than somebody who's better at paying things. That's a good question. I mean, you will get, a lot of times you get them in the mail. Like I know I did when I was in college. I didn't have one before, and they just sent me a credit card. I'm like, score, so I just signed up for it. They're going to try to get you young because they want you to take out credit. Do you know what I mean? Because then you're going to be paying them back forever. Yeah. You know, I don't know that for sure. That's a good question. I'll have to look that up. I really don't know. Because if you've never done anything, you would think. I'll have to look that. I really don't know. Did they give you an average? I don't know. I would assume it's 0 because you have nothing. That's what I would assume. All right, some more vocab. Yeah, I told you there's a lot of vocab in this. All right, so paying for services or merchandise over a period of time, that is called an installment plan. So it's like Abby buying her car. Abby is making monthly payments to pay back her car. She is on an installment plan, right? She's making monthly installments towards the car to pay it off. All right, part of the selling price paid at the time of purchase is the down payment. Did you have to pay a down payment on the car? Can I ask, what was your down payment? Oh, wow. What the heck of a down payment? Congratulations. Yeah, but you paying down that down payment makes your loan payments less because you've paid that off. All right, and then a fee added to the cost when consumers pay for services or merchandise over a period of time. We know it mainly as interest, right? You're paying the interest on something, but also it can be called a finance charge. So I want you guys to see, do you see how both of those words are used on the same line, right? So those words could be used interchangeably. So if I ask you for the finance charge, you're really telling me how much interest did they pay. Okay, and have we done that already in the previous chapter? Yeah. Some of you may not have answered both parts of the question on the test. A lot of you did that. You gave me the final balance, but you didn't give me the interest, or vice versa. All right, but if I ask for interest, or if I ask for finance charge, I'm asking for the same thing, so make a note of that. All right, let's finally get to some math. Enough talking. All right, Heather wants to purchase an electric guitar. The price of the guitar with tax is $22.40. If she can save $90 per month, how long will it take her to save for the guitar? So in other words, does she want to use credit? No, she doesn't want to use credit. She wants to just save her money, and then purchase. So how do you figure out how long it's going to take her? Good. Just divide those. So we're going to take the $22.40. We're going to divide that by 90. How many months is that going to take her? 24 point, what'd you say? 0.89 months. So really, if we're talking months, how many months is it going to take her? 25 months. $25 is how long? That's 2 years and a month. Whew. So she could sit and wait for over 2 years to save the money, right? Or, number two, Heather speaks to the salesperson at the music store who suggests that she buy the guitar on the installment plan. It requires a 15% down payment. The remainder, plus an additional finance charge or interest, is paid back on a monthly basis for the next 2 years. The monthly payment is $88.75, which is, she said she could save $90 a month, right? So what's the finance charge? So again, every time you see the words finance charge, we can also think about interest. Because to me, I think the word interest means more to you guys. We've used that word, we've talked about it, we know what that is. Okay, so let's figure this out. So she requires a 15% down payment. Okay, well, we already knew the cost for the guitar was $22.40. 15% of that is going to be her down payment. Good, $336. This is her down payment, so that's what she has to pay right up front in the store. Okay, so how much does she still owe? Does she still owe $22.40? No, right? You're going to take the $22.40, which is the cost, subtract her down payment. Good. So $19.04 is how much she still owes. Does she pay interest on the down payment that she already paid? No, right? She paid that right away, so she doesn't owe any interest on that. So $19.04 is what she still owes. Now, it says that she's going to be paying back $88.75 a month for how long? For 2 years. Okay, so how much is she going to pay over that 2 years? So $88.75 are her monthly payments. What do I multiply for 2 years? Thank you. Times 24, because that's 2 years. So her payments are going to be how much? Should be cents on there. Should be 2,130. That's what it should be. All right, so this is how much she paid back. Paid in payments. So making her monthly payments, she paid back $2,130. How much did she actually owe? She only owed $19.04. So did she overpay that? Yeah. So what's the overpayment considered? That's considered your finance charge or the interest, however you want to think about that, right? So $21.30 minus the $19.04 is what she actually owed. Right, so she paid $226 in finance charge. Does that make sense, that process we took? Okay, she made a down payment, so that's money that she paid right off the bat. And then she still owed $19.04. We just subtracted her down payment from what the price was. Then they're like, okay, well, what is she paying? Well, she's paying $88.75 a month for 24 months. So that's where we figured out she actually made payments totaling $2,130. So I just took that minus how much she owed. So the $226 that she overpaid, that's considered the finance charge. That's where the business, this music store, that's how they make money, right? If they're being nice and giving you the loan or letting you make installment payments, they get to earn an extra $226 off of you, right? Because they're being nice. So what should she do? Should she just wait 2 years before she buys the guitar? Because then she'll change her mind and not want it. possible, right? But I mean, I guess it depends what she needs. Does she need it for like a band concert, or does she need it for something, you know? So if she just saves her money, it'll take her 2 years to get there. She could just pay for it outright. Or if she needs it now, she can do that. She's got an option, but she's going to pay an extra $226 to make that happen. Okay, so you got to kind of make that decision. Is it worth it to have it now, or can you wait until you save the money yourself? All right, number 3. Carpet King is trying to increase sales, and it has instituted a new promotion. All purchases can be paid on the installment plan with no interest as long as the total is paid in full within 6 months. There is a $20 minimum monthly payment required. If the Schuster family buys carpeting for $2,134 and makes only the minimum payment for 5 months, how much will they have to pay in the 6th month? So first I want you to understand what these payments are. Do you guys ever hear those loans that come out and they say like 12 months, same as cash? You guys ever hear that kind of advertisement? That's kind of what this is. This would be a 6 months, same as cash. What that means is, as long as you pay it back within that time frame, it's as if you paid it in cash. They don't charge you any finance charge. No interest, no nothing. Okay? Personally, that's how we purchase just about everything that we own. We do that all the time. Like, you know, we needed a new TV, went to Best Buy, we found a payment plan where we could pay it off. As long as we paid it off within 2 years, we didn't have to pay any interest. So it's just as if I'd saved the money myself and went and paid for it in cash. They're letting you do that as long as you pay it off in that time frame. Now, just so you guys are aware, once you get older and you guys start purchasing things, if you don't pay it off within that time frame, the interest rates are usually like 29%, which is insane, and they will charge you interest then all the way back to the beginning of the loan. They'll like retroact all of that interest. So even if you like, let's say you were like all but paid but 20 bucks off on it, and you forgot and didn't pay that last little bit, they're going to charge you interest on everything all the way back to the beginning. It is very important that you pay those things off within that time frame. Okay? So, all right, so what do we have to look at? This is 6 months, $20 minimum monthly payment, and they paid the minimum only for 5 months. So how much did they actually pay? They only paid 100 bucks. Right? They did $20 a month for 5 months. They've only paid $100. Was that very smart of that family? No, probably not. Unless they knew that they had like a tax return coming or something to pay off the rest. I could see people doing that. All right? So the carpeting was $2,134. They only paid 100 of it. So how much do they have to pay that last month? Otherwise they get charged interest. $2,034. That's really important, guys. If you don't pay it off in that time frame, all the interest that would have accumulated, this deal is saying that they wouldn't have to pay the interest as long as it's paid off. But if you don't pay it off, even like $1 shy of paying that off, they're going to charge you all the interest, usually around 29% interest, all the way back to the beginning. So that's a huge amount of money if you don't pay that off. All right. Cecilia purchased $4,322 worth of home appliances on Appliance Depot's deferred payment plan. The plan allows the customer to make no down payment, and there is no payment at all for 3 months. If the entire $4,322 is paid in full before the 3 months is up, there is no interest. Okay? So this is a store's way to persuade customers to make purchases. If it is not paid in full within the 3 months, then there is a finance charge with an APR of 21.6% applied each month, going back to the first month. If Cecilia makes the full payment a week after the 3 months has expired, what's her finance charge? So did she have to make a down payment? No, because normally we would subtract off those down payments, right? So she didn't. Did she make any payments? No, she didn't make any payments. So let's say she forgot about it, paid it a week late. She's going to get charged a finance all the way back to the beginning. Now this one's only 3 months. A lot of times these deals are like 12 months, 18 months, 48 months, okay? I've had some go as long as 60 months, which is 5 years. Those are the really nice ones. You like those. All right. So what kind of finance charge? What? Now, let's talk about that percentage. It says it's an APR. What's APR mean? Annual percentage rate. Are we talking about a year? We're talking about months. So what am I going to have to do with this percentage? Divide it by what? Divide it by 12. Yeah, you're going to have to divide that by 12 because that's an annual percentage rate. So 21.6 divided by 12. So that means we get charged an interest of 1.8% per month. Okay, so I need you guys to recognize that. Brian, you with me? The lovely look on your face. All right, so if it's annual percentage rate and we're talking months, we got to break that down to months, which is 1.8% per month. All right, so then what? What do you guys think? I need to multiply that by 3, because how many months are we doing this? 3 months worth. All right. So 1.8% times 3, which is 5.4% for 3 months. And then to figure out how much her finance charge is, yeah. So then we'll multiply that 5.4% is 0.054 times her cost, $4,322. So because she made that payment a week late, she has to pay an extra $233.39. A week late, she made that payment. I don't know about you guys, pay attention to your due dates, right? Your deadlines. That way you get stuff paid on time. Yeah, it's easy. Good question. Could we do that? Yeah. So I was kind of running off. Lauren was on a roll back there, so I kind of let her go with that. And what she did is fine. So your question, could I do 0.018 times the amount and then times 3, right? Because I'm doing that for 3 months. Do we get the same thing? We do. Exactly the same thing. So that was a great question. So we have 2 ways that we can attack that. Lauren decided to take her monthly. We did it for 3 months, so she multiplied her interest rate by 3 and then just multiplied. Totally fine. Whereas Daisy's like, wait a minute, I'm just going to take that monthly interest rate, I'm going to multiply it by the amount, and I'm going to do that 3 times, right, for 3 months, and you get the same thing. Totally fine. Good questions, guys. Joanne. Good morning, sunshine. All right, so number 5, Circuit Town is having a huge sale on large screen TVs. Anita purchased a 60-inch curved screen TV. Does anybody have a curved screen TV? Do you like it? No, you don't like it? How come? Feels weird to look at. Are they? You could sit like way on the side and still see it okay? I was curious if anybody liked those or not. All right, so it's on sale for $2,045.15, including sales tax. This purchase was made on a 6-month layaway plan. She had to pay a monthly payment of $361. What is the sum of the monthly payments, and what was the fee charged for the layaway plan? Do stores still have layaway? Do they? Walmart does? Do you guys know how layaway works? Good. So guys, I want to make sure you know the difference. Okay, Brian? Okay, the difference, right? If I am saving month, like the guitar, the very first one that we did, that's where I'm saving every month, and then I go to the store, hope they still have what I saved my money for, and I purchase it, right? Credit, I go in, I'm going to swipe my credit card, or I'm going to set up a payment plan with the store. I get to keep the item right away, but I have to continuously make payments to them, but I get the item right away. Layaway, like Walmart, they'll take whatever you want to purchase, they'll sit it off to the side in Walmart, right in their back room, put your name on it, and then you come in every month and make payments to them, and then once you pay it off, they give you the item to let you have. So we see the difference. Either it sits in the store and I hope they still have it by the time I save, or I have it now, but I have to make payments, or they set it off to the side to make sure it's still there and I make payments. I know a lot of people do that for like Christmas. They'll go Christmas shopping and they put a bunch of stuff on layaway and make payments on it. Then they can pull it out and pay it off before Christmas time. So some ideas for you guys. All right, so the first question though asked me, what's the sum of the monthly payments? Well, how much is she paying a month? Monthly payment of $361. How many months is she paying it? 6 months. All right, 361 times 6. $2,166. So that's how much she ended up paying them, right? She paid them that much money over the 6 months. Max, you with me? Good morning, sunshine. We're almost done. Hang with me. So that's the sum of her monthly payments, right? That answered that question. Sum of monthly payments. All right, and they asked, what was the fee charged for the layaway plan? So again, when you're thinking about fees, interest, finance charge, all of those words mean the same thing. So in other words, how much extra did she have to pay than what it actually cost? And how do we find that? Perfect. Right? We just take how much she paid and subtract off what the actual cost is. So $120.85. And that was her fee. Right? So if they're going to be nice and hold on to something for you, they're not going to do that from the good graces of their heart, right? They're a business. They're going to try to make money off of that. So you end up paying an extra $120 in order to have that luxury of them holding your item for you. I don't know about you, but if I'm going to pay a finance charge, I'd probably rather have the item in the time I'm paying for, right? So credit might be a better option than layaway, depending on what those interest rates are. All right. Questions? Are we doing okay? Are you guys awake? All right, last one. Last one. We're almost there. Mike has a credit rating of 720. Is that good? Is it excellent? No. It's good, but it's not excellent. Tyler has a credit rating of 560. That's bad. All right, Mike and Tyler apply for identical loans from KeyBank. Mike is approved for a loan at 5.2% interest. Tyler is approved for a loan that's charged 3 percentage points higher because of his low credit score. It's almost like a double whammy, right? They're like, you have trouble paying your debt back, so we're going to charge you even more. It doesn't seem right. All right, so what is Tyler's interest rate? And then if the loans were in the amount of $3,000 to be paid back over 3 years, use simple interest to find out how much more Tyler pays. All right, so first question asked, what is Tyler's interest rate? So what's Mike's? He's 5.2%. What about Tyler? Good. Tyler's is going to be 8.2%. He said that his was 3 percentage points higher, which is quite a difference. All right, so if the loans were $3,000, pay back over 3 years. Use simple interest. You guys see some key terms there? What's the formula for simple interest? Good, that's the one that we should have memorized, right? I equals PRT. So can we figure out how much they each pay in interest? Yeah. So I equals, the principal was $3,000. The rate, Mike's, is 0.052, and time, 3 years. There it was, times 3. All right, so how much is Mike paying interest? $468. All right, how about Tyler? So again, 3,000, the interest rate is going to be 0.082, 3 years. What'd you say, Daisy? $738. So that's his interest. Now, you had a question somewhat similar to this on your test, and a lot of you stopped there. Did you answer the question? Mm-mm. Question asked, how much more does Tyler pay? You have to actually subtract them. So 738 minus 468 is $270 more. So does 3% interest, does that make a big difference? Yeah. So guys, the higher your credit score, the lower the interest rates that you guys have, so the less you'll have to pay in interest. So Abby's suggestion of getting a credit card and just using it to buy gas and paying it off, great idea. It starts to build that credit for you. He's not going to make it today.